All right, folks, so welcome back. We are joined right now by the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee and former Republican Congressman from the great state of Michigan, Pete Hoekstra. Congressman, welcome, sir.
Hey, it's good to be with you again, Steve.
Well, it's great to talk to you again. We have so much to talk about, and let's start with the first story that broke today, and that's the Malaysian Airlines passenger plane could have been shot down. We don't know for sure. Of course, on the Ukrainian-Russian border, Ukraine believes that it was the Russian separatists who did it, and they blame Vladimir Putin. They claim they have phone conversations taped with who they call terrorists discussing the shoot down, quote unquote. What do you believe the likelihood is based on what you've ascertained so far on what happened to that plane?
Oh, I think it's very, very likely that way. I think once you get past the fact that it was shot down, everything else pretty much becomes speculation. Was it actually targeted to be shot down? Did whoever shot it down, did they know it was a passenger plane? Was it a case of mistaken identity? Was it the Ukrainians? Was it the Russians? Was it the rebels? All of that right now, I think, is speculation. Some of it educated speculation, but still speculation.
You know, Congressman, you probably can't see the impact of the plane, okay? You didn't actually see a plane, but the impact, and as opposed to the aftermath with just the smoke, now we see the impact and the aftermath. And I'm no expert, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll just run it by you and just ask a layman's question. If this was hit by a missile at 33,000 feet, wouldn't it have broken up? Wouldn't we have had all kinds of scattered things coming down instead of like one main boom crash site with the smoke emanating from that site?
Well, I think the wreckage is spread over a fairly significant area, but again, the miss is that it may have hit the engine, which means it may have torn off a wing, but the rest of the airplane could have stayed intact. Although the forces of gravity probably would have done something to the plane to have it start falling apart the closer it got to the ground.
Okay, that answers my layman's question from an expert. Thank you. Let me ask you this. I don't know if you heard what the president had to say. I heard reports before the president spoke that the president was made aware. Now, again, I'm just going by what I heard. I don't have independent confirmation. But if the president did speak to Vladimir Putin, first about the sanctions, that was the purpose of the phone call that were instituted yesterday by Obama on Russia, some Russian companies, because of the Ukraine situation. And during that conversation, quote unquote, the president was made aware by Putin of the plane going down. And then Obama comes out at this event, and before it starts, he makes 30 seconds worth of comment by saying, you know, our sympathies are with the people. It looks like we have a tragedy that's developing, or it's. I mean, if he knows, let's say it was Russian separatists. Okay, let's play that game. Let's speculate. Putin said, yeah, it was the Russian separatists. They messed up. We messed up. Whatever. I mean, are there?
Well, I'm sure there will be repercussions. There will be actions that this administration will take once they get more facts. But, as Newsmax had an article yesterday, and, what you're seeing here in Ukraine with the shoot down, again, whatever the circumstances are, it shows you how dangerous out of control. That's what happened in this administration in Ukraine. It's what's happening now between Israel and Gaza. And when you have events spinning out of control, you really open up the possibility for these types of tragic events to happen.
Let me ask you this: if in fact the Ukrainian government is saying terrorists did it, Russian separatists, and they blame Vladimir Putin, how much is saying terrorists did it, Russian separatists, and they blame Vladimir Putin? How much control does Vladimir Putin have over the Russian separatists? Enough to blame him? How much control and giving them weapons and equipment and creating them, if you will, and responsibility does Putin have?
I mean, he has full
them, if you will, and responsibility does Putin have?
I mean, he has full responsibility for, putting these kinds of weapons into the hands of the rebels, knowing that when you do that, you're moving it to a military force that doesn't have the command and control structure that you would find in an established military, whether it's the Russian military, the U.S. military, where you've got procedures, protocols, checks and balances all in place. So Putin will bear full responsibility for giving these kinds of weapons, sophisticated weapons, to kind of a ragtag outfit that potentially will be found to be responsible for this. And who's ever responsible for it, I'm sure that they will claim that it was a tragic mistake of mistaken identity.
All right. Well, that being said, I mean, there will be it will be found out who did. I mean, this isn't a missing jet. Like the other Malaysian airline. They're going to know how to. And by the way, this is on the anniversary, believe it or not, of 1997. I'm sorry, not 1997, 1996, July 17th, when the TWA Flight 800 went down. And there are still many witnesses on the record who claim that they saw a missile go up and hit that. But if Putin says it was an accident, blah, 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 we're going to find out who did it. So what do you think an American, we got a minute, and I hope you could stay another segment, if you can, to talk about the Gaza. But what would the United States do to punish Russia for this?
Oh, Steve, I have no idea. This president has been so effective in his leadership in terms of holding people accountable and keeping events under control. So I don't know what this president will do.
I know it's sad to laugh when when all these lives were lost, and including reportedly as many as 23 Americans on that manifest. We'll have to await official word and State Department confirmation, which we have not gotten. All right, Pete Hoekstra will stick around. One more segment. I do want to talk to him and get his expertise on Israel launching the ground offensive into Gaza just within the past hour after 10 days of bombing the Hamas in the Gaza Strip. We will talk about that. If you want to weigh in, folks, on anything that's going on today, and there's a lot on social media, here's how you do it. Don't go away.